Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Craig Perry, and I'm here working in Biscayne National Park on Adams Key. I work for the South Florida Caribbean Network of the National Park Service on the Shelf Swallowtail Habitat Restoration Project. This area is one of our main restoration sites on Adams Key. It was previously full of invasives, and that's why it was selected. So we came in, we removed invasives, and we're planting native plants. Specifically native plants which are host plants for the endangered shelf swallowtail butterfly. What we have here is a plant that we planted. This is a torchwood plant. It's the main host plant for the shelf swallowtail butterfly. This is what the butterfly feeds on in the larval stage when it emerges from the chrysalis as a caterpillar, particularly the flush new growth at the top of the plant. So it's a very slow growing plant, and until it reaches maturity, we have to do our part at these restoration sites to make sure that it's not outcompeted by weeds. Fast-growing weeds will grow and outshade and outcompete these plants and choke them out and kill it if we don't come and weed like this is a garden. So that's what our main responsibilities here is making sure that these plants grow up to be mature trees. And what we're doing here is we're removing invasive trees from the hardwood hammock and creating restoration sites with native plants, which also happen to be host plants for the shelf swallowtail. They're larval host plants, so the shells consume them in their larval form, in the caterpillar form, when they emerge from the chrysalis. So we come out here, we maintain our restoration sites, and we have future plans to plant more torchwood. Last year we planted about 2,700 plants. We're going to plant another 2,500 plants next year. So to do so, we have to collect seeds from native populations of torchwood and rear them in a nursery. And lately we've been having a lot of trouble finding seeds and producing them in the nursery. So what we've been doing is we're attempting to clone torchwood from existing populations through air layering and cuttings. So what we're doing today is we're air layering. We are cutting trees, girdling them, and wrapping them in sphagnum moss, peeling them down to the Cambrian layer, and then we'll come back 2 or 3 months later and these will produce roots in the tree. So we'll sever that limb and then we can put that limb within a pot or within the ground, directly in the ground. So it's an important project because the shouse is a critically endangered butterfly species, and just for the sake of preserving biodiversity and species richness within the hardwood hammock, it's important that we protect the butterfly species. I'm going to make a few recommendations on what the public can do and what you can do at home to help save imperiled butterflies in South Florida. There are a number of things you can do, mainly cut back on usage of pesticides and fertilizers, but also by planting native host plants, by doing your homework and researching and finding out what kind of plants you can put in your yard that will benefit these butterflies. Particularly for our butterfly species, for the Shelf butterfly, you could plant torchwood or wild lime in your yard. And they're not very glamorous as designer plants, but they do a lot to attract wildlife and feed butterfly species and caterpillars. So that would be my recommendations, to remove invasive plants from your yard, to cut back on fertilizers and pesticides, and to plant native host plants for imperiled butterfly species at home in your yard and create microhabitats for them.